So we are leaving this campground today, headed south, get out of some of this cold weather. Finally, we're going to chase the 70s or chase the 80s, which
I'm sure the cold will chase us.
So we are going to stop at a couple harvest hosts.
We actually have 3 harvest hosts with 1 campground in the midst of the 3 of them. But the attempt is to show you that all harvest hosts are not the same.
They're not all wineries, which everybody thinks they are.
They're not all breweries. They're not all restaurants. They're not all golf clubs. They're just not all the same.
Golf courses, they're never a golf club.
My bad. But they also aren't all boondocking. Like, there are harvest hosts that have full hookups. There are harvest hosts that have water and electric. And then there are the boondocking harvest hosts. So we're going to 3 different harvest hosts, 3 different types of hosts, and 3 different sets of hookups. So we're just going to show you how different harvest hosts can be.
I look out across the water, I smell the song, I feel the breeze, but in my heart.
So today we are at one of our favorite harvest hosts, which is a winery.
Sumner Crust Winery in Portland, Tennessee.
And Lisa is now becoming more and more fluent, maybe in the winery side of it, the wine side of it.
Wasn't a wine drinker. Thank you, harvest host, for that. I'm learning. But I want to side note, say a little shout out for the harvest host that we're currently at. It is a winery. It is in Portland, Tennessee, which is northern Tennessee on I-65, north of Nashville.
So if you're coming down 65, this is a perfect place to stop.
Literally on and off right here.
We can hear 65. They're doing a lot of construction right now on 65, unfortunately, but you can hear them right here from the camper. That's how close you are.
I think one of the things that people have a problem with in Harvest Host is they get labeled. So for instance, this is a winery, but they have more than just wine. They have t-shirts and wine glasses and, all the things like bottle openers and t-shirts and all the fun things. So of course at a winery you can always do a flight, you can do a taste, you can buy a bottle of wine, but what if you're not a wine drinker, which I didn't used to be a wine drinker at all, but I'm learning. But just think about the family and friends that you have that you could maybe buy a bottle of wine for. And then I think maybe Harvest Host doesn't get enough credit because so many of them get labeled as, oh, well, it's all wineries or it's all breweries or maybe even distilleries. And what if you don't drink? Like, what if you don't drink, period?
Well, at this winery harvest host we're at right now, they actually have bread. They have cheese.
Oh my gosh, they have this homemade sourdough bread. They have cheeses from a local
Every time we
place
open
here.
up the
They have chicken salad.
Every time we open the pantry, I can smell the garlic from the bread, which is amazing. So it's not just wineries. We also got seasoning for our.
They have all kinds of cool stuff in their gift shop, and he'll probably get some B-roll and we can show you some of the things they have. But they're just great people, and this has been a great stop. But I do want to also say that maybe just because you don't drink, you don't have to cross them off your list. Because most places, even if they are, the brewery, the distillery, the winery, they sell other stuff too. And there's way more to Harvest Host than that. So I'm planning a trip right now. We've got
the computer's out.
2 confirmed Harvest Hosts that we're going to stop at, and we'll share those later in the video because hopefully we'll get some good footage at them. Neither one of them are wineries or breweries or distilleries or farms. So there's all kinds of things.
The one big thing people keep talking about with Harvest Host is we pay for our membership. We want it to be free. And we keep talking about that over and over and over and over again. It is free. It is free to stay here.
But they want you to spend some money.
You have to spend some money for borrowing the parking lot, for coming in here. And once again, if you watched our last couple videos, we still do talk about how we have become great friends with a couple of harvest hosts. So it's not just coming in here and staying in their parking lot.
Sometimes it is. Some of them are just quick overnight stops.
But the thing is, you want to buy something, and if you are a wine drinker, it's perfect if you come to the winery. If it is a distillery and you want to drink some of their local ales and beers and IPAs and all that, that's perfect.
But if you're not, buy a gift.
If you're not, buy gifts. And that's what we do most of Harvest Host now. We do our Christmas shopping, our birthday shopping and all that at different Harvest Hosts. So,
some of them even ship. So, if you're not going to be home for a while to give that person the gift, a lot of them you could buy something and have it shipped to that person.
We still keep hearing people say over and over when I talk about Harvest Host, I don't want to buy a Harvest Host because I don't want to. It's not fair to have to spend my due and spend $20 or more there.
But let's just talk about that. Even if you did, $20 a night is cheaper than any state park we've ever stayed at. So there is that. Now, most of them don't have hookups, but some of them do, and some of them charge for that. And so I think some of them, when they charge for that, then you don't necessarily have to buy something there. So, there's all different kinds. The two that we're staying at when we leave here, one of them has hookups. And there's just electric and water, and there's different charges for that. One of them has nothing. So you're total boondocking, and you're going to spend $20 there at whatever they've got to offer. But still, if it's something, maybe it's a meal, because some of them are like restaurants. Maybe you're just buy dinner, and $20 is easy to spend on dinner.
That's one good thing about a Harvest Host, especially if you find one that sells food, because if you're just coming in for a one-nighter, and you're coming in after a 6, 7, 8 hour drive, and you got to get up at 6 or 7, 8 o'clock the next morning to head on out. You don't want to start cooking a big meal and trashing the camper. So, especially here, even here, there's a restaurant right across the street. There's a hotel over there. It's a great restaurant.
And if we get here early enough, they have food inside. They have little pre-made, with like cheeses and meats and fruit, and they have the homemade chicken salad. They have a homemade pimento cheese spread. So they have all kinds of stuff in there. If you wanted to grab something to eat, you could do that. Anyway, we're just going to show you a little bit about the winery here. And like I said, we have 2 more stops this week coming up. So we'll get some footage and we'll talk about each of them when we get there, because they're both Harvest Hosts we've never been to. We do try to go back to ones we love, like the one we're at right now, which is Sumner Crust Winery. We love it here. So whenever we're coming through, it's easy on and off. We love the people. We love the place.
Have you been to this one? And we're going to ask you that for the next 2, because I don't even know what the next 2 are. So it's going to kind of be a secret.
One's going to be fun. He's going to love it.
So yeah, you have to stick around and see what the other 2 are. But as far as this place is, and I know we were here. We actually came here for 2 nights, and we've seen 2 other Harvest Hosts here both nights. So it's a pretty popular Harvest Host. So I'm just wondering if you guys have been here.
A lot of people have.
Did you like it? And some of the ones we talked to, they said they've been here multiple times. So
yeah, they stop every time on their way through, up and down. They stop here, and we've been here 3-4 times this year on our way up and down. So it's a good stop. It's really close. It's literally the interstate's right over there. So
we're gonna get off of here now. Run inside real quick so she can go get a glass of wine.
A bottle of wine.
Glass of wine.
Bottle of wine.
You bought bottles last time, but we're going to see. We're going to take her inside, get some wine inside, and...
Last time I bought wine as gifts. Today I'm buying wine for me.
And then after this, we get up in the morning, and we head a little bit farther south, and we'll check out another one. Maybe we'll talk a little bit on the way down there, and we'll see what that one's like when we get there.
Hey, y'all!
You can say that now because we are in the south.
It's always funny to hear our northern friends try to say y'all. Some of them can say it, and some of them it actually sounds painful. It's kind of like they say yous or youans. But anyway.
Y'all, we are here.
We are at stop number 2 on our 3 Harvest Host trip. This is Simmons Right Company is what it's called. It's basically a general store that's been here.
It's a junk store.
It's a general store. So it has been a general store since 1884. I might correct that to 94, but I'm pretty sure it's 84. And inside there is a collection of things from yesteryear.
Dude,
I mean,
I saw shoes in boxes.
That's what I was going to say.
That was full of dust.
Well, so back when it was a general store, probably these are shoes. Like you can tell by the style and by the boxes that are just kind of old and cardboard. The boxes, not the shoes. But
so Lisa finds these places. So this is probably one of her neat little Harvest Host this is the kind of thing she looks for. The wineries does whatever it does, but you know, she's big into
Well, this is a step
junk.
back in time, and I think that's always cool to go in and just wander through. It's like a huge antique store slash deli. They even have a little cafe in there.
We missed a cafe.
We missed the cafe. They offered to stay open and let us eat, but I just couldn't do it because they were getting ready to close the cafe. But I did get a cute little t-shirt from in there, and it's right off the interstate, so that is a plus.
It is a great spot to stop if you're coming off the interstate, but
You can probably see the store off in the background.
yes.
And it's right on the corner, and opposite corner is where we are parked, so it's just a huge field.
But if you're one of those people that has to have it completely quiet to sleep,
This is not going to be
this is not
for
your
you.
stop, because I think it's a bypass for tractor trailers. All night long, tractor trailers are back and forth, back and forth.
Loudly,
back and forth.
very loud.
And the train is right next to us, which that doesn't bother us at all because we live.
We have 2 trains at home, one across the street in front of us and one directly behind our property. So the train is not so much a thing for us. And like, we slept fine. We always run the fan on our AC. Even if we don't run the AC, we just run the fan just to drown out noise. But if you're one of those people that needs it to be perfectly quiet, this
not
is
for
not going to
you.
be a stop for you. However, if you're one of those people that loves
Junk.
the old-timey, the step back in time to a simpler place, it is a really cool stop. The people are super friendly, and so the lady that waited on us, her husband's family started this general store back in the day, and their home place is across the street, and they're adding on to the back or converting some of the old warehouse buildings, her daughter and son-in-law, to do like
Weddings
venues and stuff. That's not in place yet, but she did tell us they're getting ready to do that, which means it's going to come down through another generation, and another generation is going to own and operate this place, which to me is really cool.
So we're getting ready to leave here, head to our next Harvest Host, which I don't know where it is, what it is.
He's going to love it.
So we'll see you guys at the next stop.
I met an old man. I said, tell me your story. He took out a notepad and wrote something for me. What you've got.
So we made it to our final Harvest Host today, which is
John Schneider's place.
pretty cool. So if you guys watch the Dukes of Hazzard,
If you grew up on the Dukes of Hazzard like we did, we're here. This is actually his place, like his house. 100 acres he's got here, and it's all in Duke's theme. Pretty sure this is Enos. Supposed to be telling you to slow down. There's all kinds of cool stuff around here. So I brought Jimmy because we both grew up on it, but it was one of his favorites. So he did not know where we were coming until we got here today. But bonus, they have 8 sites, 3 or 30 amp, 3 or 50 amp, or you don't have to use power at all. But the sites that have 30 and 50 amp are full hookup. So
there's actually a little mini campground here, which
yeah,
is pretty
basically.
cool.
So if you don't want to hook up, you don't have to. If you do, it's $40 a night, but it's a full hookup. So keep that in mind. We are in Holden, Louisiana. So if you're ever in that area and you need a Harvest Host, it's a pretty cool place to check out.
So we're going to check this place out a little bit more and get some more footage and see what we can get into. So when you first come into John Schneider's place, the first person to greet you is Roscoe Pico Train.
He doesn't say slow down, but I think the radar gun indicates slow down or you're going to get a ticket.
I haven't seen Flash yet. We're still looking for Flash.
So the marquee says you can ride with Bo Duke in the General Lee.
Man, that would have been fun.
The problem is 2 days before we got here, John Schneider's wife passed away. So our condolences go out to him and his family. And that just means we'll have to come back another time so we can get the full experience.
So if you look right here behind me, this is Uncle Jesse's truck. evidently he must not have been a great driver, because looking inside of it, there's a roll bar in there too. So I don't know how many times he was planning on rolling this thing over, but pretty cool. Ready to head out of here?
I'm ready. So this will be the end
of a 3-night adventure, whatever you want to call it, in the Harvest Host system.
So we're headed to a campground tonight. Turns out where we stayed last night was pretty much a campground. Just want to talk for a minute about Harvest Host and how different they can be. So we've spent the last 3 nights in the Harvest Host system, and we've stayed at 3 very different places. We've been
into a winery, to a country store or a general store,
antique-ish general store.
To my surprise today, which was
John Schneider Studios. So from a studio to a winery to an old country store, all 3 were cool places to visit. All 3 had different offerings as far as what type of place they were.
Well, that's what a lot of people don't understand when it comes to Harvest Host, and everybody thinks it's all boondocking. And we did pretty much all 3 different things in all 3 different places. So,
right. So one was literally we just parked
in a field. There was nothing out there. There was no water, no sewer, no electricity.
There was so much nothing out there that we even asked the lady that ran the store. She said, "Are y'all gonna go out and about tonight, or what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, is there anything fun and exciting we should check out, like in town or whatever?" And she said,
"Nope,
no." Like that was her answer. No. Now, we did drive into town and had dinner, but there were no hookups there. At the winery, they have sites that are no hookup, and they have sites that are
30, 50, and water.
Right. No sewer. And then here at the studio,
it's like a mini campground.
All their sites are full hookup. If you choose to hook up, you pay. If you choose not to, you don't. And they have, I think it's a total of 8 sites. I might have that wrong, but when you pull in, one side is 50 amp, one side is 30 amp, but they're all full hookup sites. So
it's $40 a night if you want to stay here to get the full hookup at the John Schneider place.
But I just wanted to focus in kind of on 3 Harvest Hosts, 3 different types of hosts, and 3 different offerings as far as services go. So don't get hung up on Harvest Host and think you have to be able to boondock. Don't think you have to, be able to do these things, because if you research where you're going and you research the place, it tells you on the host's profile, I guess is what you would call it, what they have, and they all offer different things. So it might be worth checking out, even if you don't have the ability to boondock, because like the last 2 places we've stayed, well, 2 out of the 3, we could have had electric and water, so and that would have been okay.
The good thing about the Harvest Host, you're not literally in a campground where you're bunch of people running around. You actually get things to see different than you would normally in a campground. That's what we like about Harvest Host. So we can go out to those places way out in the middle of nowhere, back up, put our deck down, and see this great big mountain like we saw out in West Virginia.
And it's just us.
And it's just us out there. Or sometimes there's another 1 or 2 other campers. But if you still, like she said, are afraid of boondock and you need electricity and water, you can still come to a Harvest Host, which is totally different. Some of them have the water and sewer and electricity, and you get the views. And that's what we like about Harvest Host. There is campgrounds with views, don't get me wrong. Most of the Harvest Host have some kind of view.
They either have views or they have something cool to do, which I guess in turn makes views or memories anyway.
So we're going to travel around and do some more Harvest Hosting, so we would like to know from you guys which one is the best one you've been to. Because if it's in our area and our travels, of course, we want to check that out because we're really, really liking the Harvest Host community.
And we've still never done a Boondocker's Welcome because somebody just is nervous about it. So
I'm not nervous about it.
Please comment below.
Tell me where the best Boondocker's Welcome is, that I can get my 45-foot rig in there, have a beautiful site. I don't care about the water and sewer and all that.
But so he can go one time and see that it's all going to be okay. And then once he does it once and everything's okay, he'll probably be good to continue doing it. So
I'm not afraid.
I just need the one time. I just need you guys to give me one good recommendation to get his feet wet.
So if you guys aren't Harvest Host members, we do have a link below that gets you 15% off for your first year that you can try it out. See if you really like it. for the price, guys, you can't beat it. It's still an experience. It's just a great experience.
And
there.
don't get hung up on the you have to spend money. They do ask that you spend $20, but let's revisit that, because $20 could be a t-shirt, it could be dinner, it could be a couple of drinks at a brewery or a winery. It
Just
could
the
be
amount of money you were going to normally spend anyway, because if you would have went out for dinner that night,
right,
you can buy it there.
So let's just say, oh, we're going to park here tonight, we're going to run to Applebee's for dinner. Well, you can go to Applebee's anywhere and it's going to cost you more than $20. Or you're at this cool little brewery and
they have the beer you on tap that you like.
A winery, or even there's been restaurants that we've checked out. So you can look at it that way, or you can look at, and I've said this before, gifts that you would buy for people, friends and family. You can pick them up, and that was money you would have spent anyway on a gift for that person. So yeah, you've got to spend some money, but even at that, a state park's more than $20 a night. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
So if you guys are liking these videos, we're going to be doing a lot more. We've been slow this couple weeks, last couple months. We've been doing a lot of traveling, a lot of changing some things around, doing some different things. So we're going to get started back on our videos again. So if you're liking these videos, make sure you're giving us those thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And until the next time you guys find us at a Harvest Host.
Safe travels, y'all.